WeatherScope. Low pressure and a cold front make a wet combination that brings rain and the threat of street flooding to some cities in the east, while monsoonal moisture spreads across a wide area of the west, creating flooding in Colorado and New Mexico. Those stories plus in-depth forecasts and analysis on this edition of WeatherScope.
Severe flooding plagues Colorado and New Mexico while Southern California is baking in excessive heat. Welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Will Annan.
And good morning. I'm Vivian Brown. Heavy rains are also trouble for the Northeast. Floodwaters are slowly receding in Connecticut while the nation's capital is looking at a new round of precipitation. Yesterday's rain made for a difficult commute in the D.C. area. Getting to work this morning should be easier with dry conditions, but the improved weather won't last long. Along with cooler temperatures today, there is a threat of an isolated rush hour. So the official forecast for D.C. from the Weather Channel, PM thunderstorms, an afternoon high of 80 degrees. Now, we do think that they will be widely scattered as the bulk of the instability of the Northeast has started to move east, as you can pretty much see here on our broad satellite picture, the eastern two-thirds of the country. Expansive cloudiness here out across the open waters of the Atlantic. We've had a surface cold front to push off the New England coast, and in the wake of that front, we have a broad northwesterly wind flow over a good part of the upper Mississippi Valley, the Ohio River Valley, and the Mid-Atlantic. But you can see pretty much caught up in that northwest flow, we do have a little disturbance sliding over the eastern parts of Kentucky and West Virginia this morning. And we think that this just may be the little impulse caught up in this flow that may bring some rain showers and maybe some thunder showers around the D.C. area later on. But for now, the heaviest rain we have along the New England coast. Generally, the immediate coastal areas picking up the wettest weather this morning because, again, our frontal boundary has pretty much cleared the coast, and with this area of low pressure that has developed along the front, we have just basically some moisture pulling back here from the Atlantic. The front drapes all the way southward through Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama, but again, not much fanfare with it here. A very dry air mass is in place over the southeast and the Tennessee Valley. But out ahead of it, we do have some thunderstorms. They've started to pop up around the Tampa area and the west coast of Florida, so a little unsettled here. It's 81 right now in Tampa with thunder showers, 72 in Panama City. But notice on the other side of the front how cooler it is. 71 Atlanta, 68 in Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina, and low 60s across much of the Northeast. A beautiful day today shaping up for most of this area. That's a look at the eastern half of the country. Now with the western half, here's Will.
Well, Southern California is trapped in excessive heat. Warnings have been issued for the area's mountains and valleys as well. Temperatures yesterday moved past the century mark in the desert while hitting the upper 90s along the coast. Meanwhile, farther inland, monsoonal moisture now extends from Arizona to the Canadian border. It's caused a lot of serious problems across the western part of the country. As a matter of fact, heavy rains brought traffic to a halt in the Denver area yesterday. Some drivers were stranded with their cars and trucks in the high water, and the Denver suburb of Arvada, at least 3 inches of rain fell in less than 90 minutes, turning open waters into makeshift lakes. I'll show you what's going on right now in and around the Denver area. The bulk of the rainfall now is coming to an end, but it will be back this afternoon. As you can clearly see, we're looking at the rainfall now pulling on towards the east. Heaviest of the rainfall right now east of Pueblo, Colorado, but we saw some very heavy rainfall overnight once again to the north and east of Denver, where flood watches have currently gone into effect right through tonight and also for early morning tomorrow, with a chance of some more localized flooding developing over northwestern Colorado very, very late tonight and also for early morning tomorrow. Taking a look at the western general right now, you can see we're still looking at the moisture flowing on northward now across Wyoming and also a good chunk of Colorado. The southern part of the country, very, very hot and very, very dry. We're going to be looking at record temperatures again from really Ventura County all the way down towards San Diego and points east of there. We could be looking at temperatures topping the century mark. Not too bad right now, but the temperatures will be on the rise. It's already 90 degrees in Phoenix. And take a look at the monsoonal moisture at this hour. We are still looking at a good deal of moisture flowing northward. and that in conjunction with an upper level disturbance, which will be sinking southward today across the Central Rockies, will really enhance that precipitation across Colorado. We think we could be looking at some excessive rainfall for Colorado, maybe southeastern Wyoming too, by very, very late this evening. Otherwise, for Southern California, something else to worry about perhaps. No, we're not going to really worry about Hurricane Guillermo right now, with its top winds up to 160 miles per hour and gusting up to 195 miles per hour. But by late tomorrow, surfers, beware. You could be looking at some pretty good surfing conditions. Big breakers and swells will be heading on northward and affecting the southwestern coast of California. So once again, around Long Beach and heading on southward around San Diego, you could be looking at some big swells coming northward from Hurricane Guillermo as it continues to trek on westward at about 16 miles per hour. The Midwest today, you could be looking at some strong storms too throughout northern Minnesota, eventually into northwestern Wisconsin. But again, we're looking at some just high wispy cirrus clouds rolling overhead right now as high pressure is still in control. The temperature this morning, 39 degrees, International Falls, Minnesota for a low. It was down to 38 degrees along Highway 63 in Hayward, Wisconsin. Well, temperatures are beginning to rebound right now. High pressure begins to drift on towards the south. And the big news during the next 24 hours is going to be another round of very heavy rainfall for Colorado. There it comes, locally 5 more inches for Denver, and the suburbs come later on this evening, with the highs today mostly in the 70s. And again, excessive heat conditions likely in Southern California.
Okay, just ahead, your chance to get the latest update on travel conditions around the nation.
Stay with us for TravelWise. We'll have that coming up right after your local forecast.